Hello again, everyone, and welcome to The Launch. This is episode 8. We are going to talk about starting to drive traffic to your website. So we are on episode 8 of 10, so we're getting to the end here. We have discussed naming your business. We have discussed designing your logo. We have discussed branding and brand tagline and paragraph. We've discussed building your website, and we've discussed your social media site and kind of getting your social media presence started there. So now we're going to look at driving traffic to your website, which is a very important topic. You spent money, you built this website, now you got to figure out, when people aren't looking specifically for your company on Google, how do you get them to find your company? So first things first, when you list your business with Google, and someone types in, if my company's name is Creative Rocket Ship, and I list my company with Google, in a few weeks, it'll probably start showing up when someone types in Creative Rocket Ship. So you can be found by a search engine pretty quickly for that specific keyword. But if you want to start ranking, if I want to start ranking for web design company or logo design company, any of those services, SEO, it takes a little bit more work than that to start ranking for those keywords because there's a lot of competition for those. People have already been working at it for a long time, and now you just came in the game and you can't go straight to the top. There's no way around it. So there's 3 ways to go about kind of driving traffic to your site. There's more than 3 ways, but 3 ways that we'll talk about here to drive traffic to your site at a kind of a broad scale, I guess. The first one is organic SEO, and organic SEO is what I described when I was talking in the website video before. Usually I would plan on spending about $750 a month for a minimum of 6 months, and then probably more than that, to build your rank on the search engine so that organically when someone searches, you're the first link below all the ads, basically. You're Google's actual top pick for that particular topic. So to do that, if you're the boat propeller guy and, you say, if we can just rank number 1 for boat propellers on Google, I can sell $2 million in boat propellers this year. Then it's worth $750 a month to, start adding links and posting blogs and start going to other sites and creating backlinks to your website and all the complicated elements that go into getting a number 1 search ranking on Google. If you do not have $750 a month, which is most people when they're starting out, and you still want to be found on Google or make an effort to drive people to your website, there's what's called Google AdWords or paid search. Those are the same thing. And essentially, paid search is a way in which you can bid on a keyword. So organically, you may not rank for that keyword, but that's not to say that, if I wanted to, there's plenty of, for instance, with my company, locally we rank for the keywords, but if you were to do a nationwide search for web design, there's companies like WordPress, Wix, Shopify, all sorts of different places that have been around for longer. They've got tons of links, tons of websites, more SEO power than I could possibly build up. And the reality is that I'm just not going to jump them for a number 1 organic ranking on Google without spending as much or more than them, and it, to my business, would not justify itself. So what you can do is do what's called a paid ad, and you can essentially select your budget, and as you go, Google will sometimes recommend a budget. They can start as low as $5 a day sometimes, depending on the keyword. They could start at $20 a day if you've got specific keywords that you're looking for. But generally, the more common the keyword, the more expensive it's going to be. If our boat propeller guy is selling boat propellers, you might be able to get a pretty good rank on those through paid search because not a whole lot of people are probably trying to rank for boat propeller. There's probably a set of competitors, maybe 20 companies, but it's not like the competition for flat screen TV or HD TV or 3D TV. So what you can do essentially as a small business owner is go with Google AdWords. You can target keywords that you want people to find. If Sammy's selling a skateboard, you can target people when they're searching for the word skateboard or lightweight skateboard If you've got a salon, you might want to target people, and it's in Beverly Hills, California. You might want to target salon Beverly Hills, California as a keyword. So if you're working with I recommend working with someone on this. If you don't have the ability to work with someone, you can go to something that's called Google's Keyword Planner. Write that down. It's called the Keyword Planner. And I don't go through tutorials on how to use all these systems. If you want to know how to run Facebook ads or how to set up Google ads and stuff like that, they've got great tutorials for those. I'm not going to try to top those. They've got way better videos than I could create. So look them up online and they'll give you some breakdown on those. But if you go to Google's Keyword Planner, you can start and look up a video on how to use that. But you can essentially start to find out what people are searching for, what keywords they're searching for in your area, and how often. So it gives you an idea, so you're not just guessing. And for me, I might say, well, I think people are probably looking for website design, but I don't know if they're looking for website design or web design company or website agency. When you go to Google Keyword Planner, it'll give you those answers because it'll tell you, within the area that you're saying, this specific term was searched 100 times last month. This other term was searched 10 times last month. So it really lets you know what the popularity of keywords is, and then you can target those keywords. And the way that Google works is when someone searches for that keyword, it runs a bid or an auction, and you have put in an amount that you're willing to pay for that click. So whether it's, if you've got a $5 per day ad budget, you may say I'm willing to spend $5 to get that click, or you may say I'm willing to spend $1 to get that click to come to my website. But either way, the idea is that you can get on the first page of Google with a budget of $150 a month, or usually more than that to get started, but minimum of $150 a month to get on the first page of Google and start getting people to see your website and start driving to it. So that's one way to get started and drive some traffic on Google if you do not have the funding to do organic SEO, which again takes at least 6 months before you start seeing any results from that. So that's an immediate kind of answer to the problem. You'll build the ad, you'll create it, you'll send it in, and then 20 minutes later you can search on Google for your keyword and your name might come up. Your ad might come up. Don't click on your ad because that will actually charge you money. But it should show up and get you in front of consumers that are searching for that keyword. On the other side, now that we've talked about organic SEO, we've talked about paid search, which is both Google basically. SEO can spring into the other areas of Bing and some of those other, but I really focus on the gorillas. As you can see, Facebook and Google are kind of my main focuses. The last one that you can do is social media to drive traffic. And whether you do that through, building your subscribers on your social media page, that's kind of like the organic version of SEO. But for social media, where it's just going to take time to do. It's not something that happens overnight. But Facebook also offers what's called paid ads. And the big difference between Google and Facebook as far as when you're paying for ads is that Google, you're targeting someone based on the keyword that they searched for. So if someone searched for boat propellers, you're going to come up for them because, if this guy's selling boat propellers, that's great. But in Facebook, no one types in a search term. So what you do is you define your target market and you start hitting those people with your ad. And it can be very powerful in some cases because you can get a lot more exposure a lot of times for a lot less money. You can start on Facebook easily for $5 a day. And then all that you'll be doing is maybe not getting in front of as many people. But Facebook charges you more by the impressions. So how many people you're getting in front of out of your target market. So when you're doing marketing on Facebook, you are defining your target market. You're saying, for Sammy Skateboards, he wants to target males between the ages of, 16 and 25, whatever his target market may be for that small group. And he can say, I want them to like X Games. I want them to be interested in these things. The nice thing about Facebook is that because everyone has Facebook, I, for example, click that I like the Detroit Red Wings because on Facebook I want updates on the Detroit Red Wings. And if they won their game or something like that, I'd like to know about that. Well, now Google has that information. So if the Detroit Red Wings come on Facebook and they say, hey, we want to try to sell some tickets, or if an apparel company comes on that sells Red Wings licensed goods, they say we want to sell products. They want to target people that like the Red Wings. Well, they know that I like the Red Wings based on the data that I gave them. So that's why Facebook is unique, is that you can target people based on their interests. So while Google, you're getting in front of your target market because they're searching for your keyword, Facebook is a great way to continually stay in front of your target market, where you can define who you want to be in front of, and then consistently target those people kind of in the middle of their day. It goes right in their news feed as they're on their social media. So it's a nice way to kind of sneak yourself in there and pick who you're advertising to based on their personalities versus what they're searching for alone. I know a lot of realtors that I've worked with, they like to target recently engaged females because they know that a female that's been recently engaged is possibly looking to buy a home, and that she may be, driving a lot of that decision. So I've seen them have a lot of success with stuff like that. Equally, when they're trying to sell a house, they'll target that specific group. So it allows you to target someone based on their demographics, basically their age, their location, their gender, their interests, versus targeting them based on a keyword. And then, in addition to that, on Facebook, what they offer is something that's called retargeting. And retargeting is essentially, if you've ever been to HomeDepot.com or something like that, or you looked up a pair of shoes, and then all of a sudden you notice that for the next 30 days, those shoes are following you around the internet in different spots. That's essentially what retargeting is. So if you want to build a campaign where you can essentially say, anyone that's visited my website, I'd like to follow up with them and market to them on Facebook with a special offer or something like that. You can do that as well to start building some brand loyalty and drive traffic. So those are kind of the ways that, three broad ways that I recommend driving traffic to your site to get started. Organic SEO, if you have the money and you want to make the investment, is definitely worth it. Paid search is definitely worth it, and so are paid ads on Facebook. The nice thing about both of these last two is that you can track them pretty intensely. Both Google and Facebook offer very intense analytics systems, so you can start to see, ideally when we're running ads, we're not losing money. So, I want to say our average profit per lead here is, $300. We want to make sure that every lead that we bring in only costs $50, so that then you're making $250 every time that you make a sale or something like that. So the nice thing about those systems is that you can test to see if they're working or not, and then I usually recommend going 90 days with any kind of campaign on those to test it out and see what kind of traction you get. But if after 90 days no one's clicked on your ad, then to shut it down. If after 90 days you've got a ridiculous amount of traction on that ad, you might want to increase your budget, because if you're only spending a certain amount to market, you're only getting in front of a small group of people. And if you increase your budget, you can basically get in front of more people and duplicate that success. So there are a lot of ways to drive traffic, but those are the beginning ways that I recommend driving traffic to your website. You can also go on Craigslist and things like that to post free ads if you'd like to do stuff like that. But those are the more passive ways to, build traffic and drive traffic to your website.